Told you I was coming right back. Now, you're gonna have to watch this whole video, man. And know how I like to paint the pictures. You feel me? Like, to really understand what I'm saying with this video, because the situation is so tragic and there's so many layers to pull back. You gotta watch from start to finish, or you might miss something important. So, Nicole Linton, we all know who she is right now. You just saying the video. That's where we at. Killed 6 or killed 5, injured 8 or 12. The numbers is going up and down. Pregnant woman, boyfriend, tragic on so many levels, man. So many levels. But in this video, we're going to get into real details. What really happened? We're going to hear from the family. And we're going to comb through some cases. Yeah, we're going to do all that. So that's why I said you got to pay attention. So let's go with what we know. First, before we get into the speculation. What we know is this woman drove through a light going 90 miles an hour. Straight through. The video was crazy. That's what we know. We know some people died. We know some people got hurt. We know the car set on fire. Now, we don't know about these allegations. Because remember we seen the video with the girl claiming to be her friend. Oh, she was drinking and she was beefing with her boyfriend. And we don't know none of that to be true. All that is just speculation. We don't know if she was suicidal. But what we do know now is that this woman had some serious mental health issues. Serious. We know she's been in a lot of accidents. So, when I first was going to do this video, I was highly upset. And I still am, to a certain extent. Because the shit that made me mad, right, is that every time black people, our people, every time we do some shit that's fucked up or questionable or make a mistake, we crucify each other to the core, man. To the core. And when we do that, it makes it easier for the system to railroad us. That's why you got so many black people across America getting railroaded by the system. Because we do it before the trial even starts. We do it once we hear the news. But meanwhile, you got other people getting break after break after break after break. So when motherfuckers wonder why I'm always, sympathetic to the suspect. Because a lot of times, the system makes the suspect a victim too. Now, before I get too far along into this, right? You gotta hear from the victim's family.
I'm so hurt. I don't know what to do. I know I have to stay strong and keep living, but you don't understand how I really feel up in the inside. I am dead in the inside. I am dead in the inside. And I will never come from this. My firstborn, my grandson.
The whole family.
You see, she went.
I can't be in this house no more to come in and not see her.
Cody Davis sat down with us to talk about her sister, Ashray Ryan, killed in Thursday's chain reaction crash, along with her son, who was a few days shy of his first birthday, and her unborn child. Ryan's sister says she went by the name Ray Ray.
I've never called her Asher in her life. It's always been Ray Ray.
Yeah. Davis says her sister was excited about her second pregnancy.
So she was expecting a second boy?
Yes. She was on her way to the doctors.
The force of the crash caused this child seat to be ejected. It had belonged to Ryan's son, Alonzo.
He had the sweetest smile, like most beautiful smile in the world. That's why everything my nephew. He didn't deserve that.
Davis says her sister loved being a mom. This is a picture of Ryan and their other sister when the two first became pregnant for the first time.
She was a beautiful soul. I mean, she had the worst attitude, but she was so loving. She was so supportive.
Yo, it's sad as shit. The family is angry. Have every right to be. Shit, I'm angry and I ain't got no dug in the fight. Cause you just imagine, right? You riding down the street and something like that happened to you, yo. Like she came so fast, I don't even think they even realize what happened, yo. Like this. Very negligent. Very negligent. But like I said, we still gotta factor in, did she have mental issues? Or was she trying to commit suicide? Because that matters in the system. Supposedly. Sometimes. Depending on your race. But what really pissed me off is that people that look like me applauded when they announced how much time she was facing in the charges.
Today we are going to be filing criminal charges in connection with last Thursday's tragic crash that killed 6 people and injured 6 others. Ms. Nicole Linton will be charged with 6 counts of murder and 5 counts of gross vehicular manslaughter. Preliminary investigation shows that Linton may have been traveling at approximately 90 miles an hour when she ran through a solid red light. If convicted as charged, Ms. Linton faces up to 90 years to life in prison.
So this woman is facing 90 fucking years in prison, man. 90. And I get it. Lives was lost. Lives was lost. Now, I'm going to look at this 2 ways. If she was mental, and let's say she wasn't. Let's say she was trying to commit suicide. Now, if she was trying to commit suicide and killed all them people in the process, she need to face the full fucking force of the law. Flat out. No ifs, ands, or buts about that shit. Flat the fuck out. She needs to pay. Because that's fucked up. But let's say she had a mental health problem. Do people look at it differently? Because if she had a mental health problem, man, and it's obvious at this point, she does. Somebody dropped the ball somewhere along the line. How was she allowed to be a nurse? How can you have a woman with these type of issues treating other people? Because I had to deal with the nursing board for a while, the board of medicine. And it was real strict. I'm talking about they wanted all my charges, transcripts, statements from witnesses and all type of shit. And I really had to go back to courts to go in there a little vote and get my case. So how was the ball dropped in this situation? And the reason why this is important is because at first when we thought she was a drunk driver, and drunk driving is very dangerous. I'm all the way against it. I used to be one. I know that shit is not nothing to play with. But the times the people get sentenced for murders and drunk driving, they don't exceed 30 years. Maybe 40. And this is with multiple victims. Think I'm bullshitting? Watch this.
Woman who was behind the wheel of a car that crashed, killing a couple who was riding with her. And today, the family was outraged when they heard her sentence. Local 10 News reporter Roy Ramos is live in Fort Lauderdale with all the emotion to this. Roy.
Laura, this was a difficult case for the family of the victims. They felt because this driver was under the influence, that is what led to the deaths of their loved ones. Well, the state attorney's office found otherwise. The judge ultimately just giving that driver 30 days behind bars.
Year-old Pauline Kohanek has served 4 years of a minimum 6 years in prison after pleading guilty to 3 charges that include negligent homicide following a 2013 crash in Windham. But now Kohanek wants out of prison early and is asking the court to take 2 years off her sentence.
A different person that was sentenced by this court. The general public would be deterred because a person can't come into court and ask for this suspension unless they've earned it.
Families, because I never intended for something like this to happen.
Well, an emotional apology here from Ebony Whitaker. She was sentenced in a deadly DUI crash that took the lives of 2 16-year-old girls in August. Well, police say that Whitaker was high on meth, heroin, and PCP when she got behind the wheel. Whitaker will now serve up to 25 years in prison. She was also ordered to pay thousands in...
Learned the woman who hit and killed 3 siblings at their Fulton County bus stop will not be released from prison this year. Alyssa Shepard will now stay in prison until March. That's because the judge found she could not take advantage of the community transition program. She was sentenced to 10 years for the deaths of Olivia Stahl and her twin brothers, Mason and Xavier Engel. But only 4 years were to be served in prison. She is to serve 3 more years on home detention and then another 3 on probation.
The judge ultimately ordered she spend 30 days in the Broward County Jail, sentenced to 12 months probation, $1,000 fine, and 150 hours of community service, where she was ordered to speak to students about the tragic circumstances of driving under the influence of drugs and alcohol.
Police say Layla Bordeaux was on drugs when she crashed into that local family last year on I-71 near Powell. A jury found her guilty on 8 counts of aggravated vehicular homicide. Lab results showed that Bordeaux had fentanyl in her system at the time of that crash.
Now, we just listened and watched multiple cases from all across the United States. We seen the time that these people was getting. These people don't look like us. They don't look like me. We done seen probation. We done seen 4 years. We done seen 6 years. We done seen 10 years. And they all got multiple victims. I made sure of that. It might be one in there where it's just one person. But they don't get a whole lot of time. The family do be upset. But this is the law. You feel me? Everybody respect the law until the law don't work in your favor. So when you take into account the Nicole Linton situation, right? I would say 90 years is excessive. Now, you got different kind of vehicular charges. Got vehicular manslaughter. You got, I don't know all of them, but you got a lot. You feel me? You can get some of these people got charged with 2nd-degree murder. You know what I mean? So and they all carry different, you know what I mean, sentences. But gross negligence is one of the you know what I mean? It's up there. And these prosecutors can choose which charge they want to go by the statute. And when you're dealing with these type of situations, the word is just a little bit different, which makes the charge change. So they can do what they want. It's really up for discretion. Now, most of these women, they didn't sit in jail. Why I say that? Watch this.
Comment on the strength of the case, and yet the way this case has been charged, I think, renders that claim somewhat suspect. What we do know so far with the limited discovery is that in the talk screen that was performed on Ms. Linton, it came up negative for drugs or for alcohol. And there is no indication that she would flee the jurisdiction. She, in fact, does work. She's been referred to as a traveling nurse, but she works here locally in Los Angeles.
And how long has she been in the Los Angeles area working?
Approximately 1 year, Your Honor.
Does she have family or other local ties?
She is, Your Honor. In fact, her sister is present in court today.
Her sister resides in Los Angeles.
Yes.
And with respect to the people's request for no bail, the offenses that are charged are capital offenses.
Are they? I didn't know.
I'm sorry.
So they just denied this woman bail. I think they had it like $5 million at one point. So that's basically a no bail. Nobody's getting out for that. But this woman has mental health problems. Why are they treating her like a criminal? Because that's the thing when you're dealing with mental health. That's how it's supposed to be. That's how it works for some people. When people got mental health issues, they almost like exempt from the rules of the land. But I've seen this on multiple occasions when we, black people, have mental health issues, we still get treated like criminals. And the reason why I said that, and the reason why it's like that, is because we prosecute each other way before the court system do. And it makes it easier. If we already prosecuting each other, nobody is going to turn a blind eye when you see this person get over sentenced. And that was the whole point of this video, man. Reserve judgment, man. Ride with your people, man. Especially when it comes to this system. Because this system has been known to railroad black men and women all across the motherfucking world. And the only reason they do it is because we make it easy. Now, I'm not making no excuses for it. I'm just giving you the facts. The system treats mental health a certain type of way. We just seen how the system treated these other women. And it wasn't no mental health issues. I didn't read. Some of them might have had some. But look at the time they got. And that's all I want to get people to understand, man. Stop prosecuting your own, man. Because what happens is when we do it, they put the stamp on it. And when they stamp on it, that shit final. And I don't think it's fair to have a woman who had obvious problems. The system dropped the ball. If they're going to charge her, they need to charge whoever was dealing with this woman on the mental aspect. Charge whoever was dealing with her case need to be charged too. Because she ain't had no business driving no car. She ain't had no business practicing medicine. She had no business being a nurse. They are just as much responsible for killing these people as she is. And I'm gonna leave it right there, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, man. And I want to hear how y'all feel about this shit.
Hey, Baltimore, bitch, I'm rapping Baltimore. Young street nigga, dope boy, I come from Baltimore. Young niggas be shining on them